Many restaurant menus feature potatoes in some way. Yet there's a little-known tuber native to North America that's been around long before the non-native potato became a staple in our cuisine. Groundnut, also known as Hopniss, is a perennial twining vine that prefers moist, sandy soil along riverbanks. Sometimes it sprawls across the ground or wraps itself around vegetation like these Jerusalem artichokes. This plant thrives throughout the United States, spreads rapidly, and covers large areas. It resembles a miniature version of its cousin wisteria. Groundnut has a long history of use in Massachusetts. During the 1600s, English colonists survived in part thanks to the generosity of the Wampanoag people who showed them how to prepare the edible groundnut tubers. Over 200 years later, Henry David Thoreau praised their virtues in his book Walden. And today, will they become a staple food in our diet or remain obscure? Only time will tell. Groundnut leaves are pinnate and have 5 to 7 leaflets. They have smooth edges and are hairless. The pinkish maroon blossoms are gorgeous. These flowers give off a sweet musk, so you may smell them before you see them. They appear in July and August and provide a dramatic contrast to the shape and form of the foliage. Eat them raw or cooked. I add them to my salads for a touch of color. This plant has edible beans, which are supposed to taste like peas, but I've never found any around here. Probably I live too far north. These photos that I found on the internet are from locations further south, where the growing season is longer. Although it's called groundnut, this soybean relative and pea family member produces edible tubers, not nuts. These contain at least 20% protein, 3 times more than potatoes. Some people call it rosary plant, because often these starchy tubers are strung together like beads. Tubers are sweeter in the fall, but can be harvested any time of year as long as the ground isn't frozen. To collect them, trace the fragile-looking stem to where it emerges from the ground. Dig down about 2 inches, grab it, and pull gently, or else you'll be left with just a stem and no tuber. This is easier said than done. Sometimes it can be difficult tracing the path of the stem to its point of origin. It might help to locate the vine when it's leafed out or has buds. Then you'll see where the stems are and can put a marker next to them as a sign of where to dig later on. Don't worry about depleting the supply, because the process of digging loosens the soil, which helps the plants regenerate. Young tubers are pale and smooth. Older ones are darker and have large knobs. Both are edible, though I prefer the younger ones. They'll keep up to 3 weeks in the refrigerator if wrapped in slightly damp paper towels. Since their skins are fairly thin, you don't need to peel them unless they're old. If you do, be careful. They exude a harmless milky latex that's difficult to get off your hands. I wear disposable gloves when I peel them. Even though this gummy residue can be annoying, its presence is one way to positively identify these tubers. Don't eat tubers raw. They cause gas and aren't easily digested. Plus, they may leave an unpleasant sticky coating on your teeth and lips. Wash them before cooking. I use a new toothbrush to make cleaning easier. A simple way to prepare groundnuts is to cut them into chunks. They should be white on the inside. Steam them for 15 to 20 minutes. Check to see if they're done by piercing with a knife. Save any leftover cooking water for soup stock. After they're cooked, you may want to squeeze out the insides of any older tubers and discard their coverings. If you do this, it's a good idea to reheat the pulp because it loses flavor when cooled down. An easy way to serve the prepared tubers is to combine them with sautéed garlic and chopped parsley. Then place this mixture on a bed of cooked wild rice. Try baking, frying, or roasting the tubers. You can also combine them with other root vegetables. Their taste is often compared to potatoes, and they can replace them in recipes, but their texture is thinner. One note of caution: some people have had adverse reactions to eating ground nuts. As with any new food, first try a little to see if there's a problem.